Welcome, 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 gorgeous soul, to the final episode of season 3 of Live Your Best Life. Just before I hit record, I was reflecting on the incredible guests we've had over this season. In fact, over the whole of all the seasons since Live Your Best Life was birthed earlier this year. And I just feel so grateful because every single guest has brought their own slice of magic. And this is why I started the podcast, because it is all about hearing that beautiful journey that someone's been on, or the way of looking at life in this specific way that they've come to find in their own reality. And these stories, these points of connection are just so powerful and so beautiful. So I'd love to know, like, what have your favorites been? Like, what have you learned from listening to all the different guests? I would love you to share with me on socials, maybe tag me on social media with your favorite one, and just share what it was that particularly lit you up. I can't choose a favorite, be like choosing a favorite child. But I have honestly loved recording this season. I feel like there's been even more depth, even more openness. And this is what I'm always really grateful for when I have a guest who's come to share what's been going on for them in their world. It's like it's raw, it's honest, it's open. And through these conversations, through the mess, through the tricky bits, through all the wonky things that can happen to us in life, right? We get to understand, that like we're not alone. These things happen to all of us, and there will be some that are really specific to us for sure, but stuff happens to all of us. So the more we can find ways to, yeah, find the joy through the tough moments, and keep having these open and honest conversations, the richer our lives get to feel, in my opinion. So as I record this little wrap up episode, we are just on Christmas 2025. So it's a kind of batshit crazy time of year, right? And I always find there's this real polarity because it should all be about joy, right? However, the season of these festivities like Christmas, like it conjures up many things. And for some people, there's going to be sadness coming up, there's going to be grief, there's going to be loss, there's going to be all sorts of different energies, there's going to be stress, there's going to be overwhelm. And yes, of course, there's excitement, joy, love, all the things. But often the other energies are at play as well, right? So if that's coming up for you, like the overwhelm, the stress, like be gentle with yourself, send yourself a ton of love, and know that it's okay for you to be feeling however you're feeling. And if you'd love to like feel differently, which we all do, right? When we're feeling in this energy, it's like give permission for the feelings, allow, allow, allow. And then like, can we welcome in the shift, right? So how do we get to do that at a time that can feel super challenging? So I talk a lot about play in the work that I do. And this is all about permission to play. Just give yourself permission to play. Give yourself permission to have fun, to let that little inner child out, to do the things that you see kids doing oh so naturally, like jumping in a puddle and finding it like freaking hilarious, or just running along a beach for no reason and just geeking off with your friends. Permission to play is a radical act of self leadership, particularly when life feels heavy or overwhelming, because play is not frivolous. It is not just some empty energy. It is fuel. It is the fuel to recharge. It helps reset your nervous system. It boosts your energy. It unlocks joy, which is all essential for resilience and well-being, right? All essential. And so often when I share my laughter yoga workshops or my talks, and people just they get into that energy of like, wow, I haven't done that for so long. I haven't given myself permission. And it unlocks that little person who is inside. You can literally see it. It's like people waking up. Their bodies are moving more fluidly. They've got a kind of a bounce, a natural energy. And God, some of the stories people have shared with me, like they have been through the darkest of toughest times, and then they've come to this session and they're like, whoa, you know, like, how can I feel this different so quickly? It's amazing. So, permission to play, honestly, permission to play. And when we welcome in play, when we allow play into our lives, we're releasing our feel good chemicals in our brain, which ripple through our body and help us shift and reset and feel in a different energy. So I'm talking about our dose chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and good old endorphins that I talk about all the time. So go through those really quickly, just so you can think, well, where are areas that I can get this right here, right now? Where are spaces and places that I can receive the full dose and get the full juice out of life, right? So dopamine, it's like a reward chemical. It boosts motivation and pleasure. So whack on a banging tune, and just feel that beautiful dopamine rippling through. Meditating, that's going to give you a really good hit of dopamine. So, like, find the things which are going to give you pleasure and really help you feel activated and release that dopamine. Serotonin. Oh, I've gone the wrong way round. Dose. Oh, next. Oxytocin. This is another great one that you receive in laughter yoga, actually, when you do it as a collective, because oxytocin is our like our love hormone, our connection hormone. So people get a very loved up energy when we practice laughter together, and it's because we've connected. It strengthens trust. It strengthens that connection, soul to soul, like hugs, affection, meaningful conversation. They're all ways that you can increase oxytocin. So over this festive period, or if you're listening at a different time of year, apply it to whatever's going on for you, right? Like, have a hug with someone, have a laughter hug, like oxytocin, endorphins activated, right? So, like, there's so many ways for us to get that oxytocin hit. Next, S, serotonin. Really, really, really powerful because it regulates our mood, our sleep, and digestion. And anyone that has struggled with sleep and low mood, knows how challenging that can feel. Best way to get yourself a serotonin hit: get outside in nature. Daylight is such a serotonin booster. So we often talk about serotonin from sunshine, but actually just daylight. It doesn't have to be like a magically bright sunny day. And that's a really useful thing to remember, particularly when we're in our winter months in the UK and our days are shorter, or wherever you base, where your days are shrinking and you have less daylight and less sunlight. It's like, get out in daylight. The science says the earlier you get outside in daylight, the better you will feel within your mood and energetically. So, like, daylight, 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 get the serotonin. The last one, my all-time favorite, because we get a ton of them through laughter yoga: endorphins, right? They are natural pain relievers. Whoa, isn't that amazing? We can laugh and we can lessen pain. I have heard evidence of this time and time again. You know, as an example, someone that came to one of my laughter yoga sessions recently said she had shoulder pain. She went, "It's gone." And I went, "Yeah." And she went, "Wow, like, does that surprise you?" I'm like, "No, really doesn't. You've let off endorphins, so you're healing yourself." Somebody another time had sciatica at the start of the session, and at the end of the session, the sciatica had gone. So honestly, go get yourself some endorphins, get some juicy laughter going, and relieve whatever you need to relieve and release. You know, do something that brings you joy. You can get a ton of endorphins from going from a run, going for a walk. You know, find the things like spark the joy, follow the excitement, get yourself an endorphin rush. So my invitation to you is like, what is one playful thing you could do today to give your body and your mind what they need? You know, think about some of the things I've just suggested, like what would feel really great right now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to help you get there if it's a bit of a struggle. And we're going to do a really quick guided reset. So I'm going to share with you 3 juicy laughter breaths. I have rewired my neural pathways so brilliantly that I can say some of these exercises and I start laughing. Like, literally, what's not to laugh? So let's take a big breath in and then exhale with deep belly laughter. And again, breath in and exhaling. And again, one more time. Breathe in and exhaling. Beautiful. We're going to take 3 deep breaths, breathing in joy. Take a breath in. Feel that joy rippling through your body and exhaling. And again, breath in, inviting in juicy, 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 juicy joy and exhaling. And one more time, big breath in. Really feeling that joy and exhaling. Beautiful. Like, how do you feel now? Like, in myself, I feel a bit fizzier, a bit lighter. I can, you know, I'm looking at myself as I'm recording myself, and I've got like big laughter lines on my cheeks because I'm grinning. My eyes have opened up more, you know? So, like, take a look at yourself if you joined in and notice physiologically what's shifting. You know, we are so much more powerful than we can lead ourselves to believe. And if we're going to be in radical self leadership, if we're going to lead ourselves powerfully, right, we get to remember that the resources are within, the power is within. We just need to remember to use the tools, right? So, out of those dose ideas I suggested for our feel good, happy hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, right? Just see what you can do to help yourself reset. If you're listening over the festive period, super, super helpful. You know, if you're listening at another time, always helpful. It's just always helpful for us to know what can we do to reset, you know, and this is not about doing, right? It's like we need to be in more being and less doing. All of these are about being. It's about coming home to yourself. It's about like really allowing your full self to emerge, you know, even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if it's for 10 minutes, you know, we can reset like in a really quick, impactful way, it's about taking the step and taking the action, And if you have been feeling the overwhelm, perhaps some inconsistency with how you feel, like a regular mood, and you're out of your habits and whatever, so everything's feeling a bit discombobulated, honestly, give yourself a massive hug. Like, let's normalize that it's okay for us to feel like this. It's us being human, you know? You're not alone. There'll be anyone listening to this will be hands up. I felt like this. I've been feeling like this. Of course I have. It's just humanness. So release perfection, release what anything should be, and just like, step into loving self leadership. Because in loving self leadership, we meet ourselves with love every single time. We meet ourselves with compassion. We meet ourselves with like total love for, who we are and who we get to be. Just felt really important to bring this episode as the final one, because it's essentially what this whole the whole reason behind this podcast is, that like we are our own best ally, we are the power. And so often we forget this and outsource it. I would love you to share any playful moments you have over the festive period. As we record this right now, I'm off to Mexico in 4 days. So I may not be super active on socials, but if you tag me, I will be super excited and would absolutely love to celebrate you. So yeah, please, like find your little acts of joy, find your like big boosts of dose wherever you can get it, right? And make space for it. Affirm to yourself, I give myself permission to play, to pause, and to reset, and to choose joy, you know, even when life gets heavy. And actually, that's when it's most important. Give yourself permission. Pause, play, reset, choose joy. Pause, play, reset, choose joy. Pause, play, reset, choose joy. Permission, permission, permission. Oh, what a delicious episode to wrap up the season on. But before you go, I want to leave you with this, my darling one. You do not need anyone's permission to press pause, to play, or to choose joy. Not just at Christmas, but in every season of your life, right? And I think so often we struggle with this, don't we? That we have to get permission from other people, particularly in busy seasons like Christmas, yeah? And if you're listening today and you're like, yeah, like I feel this, I feel this, but I'm ready. I'm ready for something else. I'm ready for a bigger shift, to move from self-doubt, maybe playing small, to like not living, like from not living in my boundaries, right? To like feeling visible, grounded, fully yourself in work, in business, in what you get to do and who you get to be, then I'd love to invite you into the big shift. It's my signature 4-month group journey for heart-led leaders who want to lead with confidence, break through old habits, patterns, behaviors, and actually embody their fullness, their power, with support, energy, play, and community all woven in, right? Oh, it's just delicious. We start January the 19th, 2026, and this could be your perfect reset and fresh start for what is set to be a really powerful year. It's a year one, it's the year of the horse. This is about new beginnings, fresh energy. So if you're curious, check out the show notes and go to my website, katgooge.com/the big shift, or drop me a message. You can email, DM me on socials, and just get a feel for whether it's a great fit for you. And if that round is not feeling like the right time, September will be our next run, and let's have a chat about that and get you on the wait list already. I've already got a few souls who are really excited about starting their journey then. So whatever feels good for you. And if it's not the right time at all to explore this, it's okay, right? I see you, I celebrate you, I am cheering you on always. Anyone in my world knows I am a massive advocate for self-celebration, and I am a massive cheerleader for anybody who is in my world and whose lives I have been part of through whatever it is, whether it's this podcast, whether it's working with me, whether it's been to my workshops or a talk or whatever it is. I am always cheering you on, my darling. And I celebrate you for choosing pockets of joy every single day. And even when you don't manage to just trying to choose them. Like, just that decision to bring more joy is a huge thing. So look after your energy, my darling. Let yourself play. Thank you for being here, for being a fabulous listener. If you've loved it, I would love you to give us a review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen, and share it with your loved ones who you feel that would get a ton of benefit. And yeah, just like keep choosing you. And thank you so much for being part of season 3. I can't wait to bring season 4 back. It's going to be probably February. I think in the new year we're taking a little break to recalibrate and get some gorgeous guests. I've already got some amazing ones lined up. So yeah, sending you all the love. And if the big shift is piquing your curiosity, then reach out, my darling. Reach out. Sending you all the love, and I will see you when we're back for season 4. Mwah! Lots of love, my darlings. Keep living your best love. Always, always, always.